Let us understand client-server network security from e-commerce perspective. As part of this one, we are going to understand what is e-commerce, what is the internet, and how the problems will occur in client-server networks, and what are all the protection techniques that are available. First of all, let us understand what is e-commerce. E-commerce is nothing but buying or selling products or services over the internet. People may people may make use of desktops or laptops or mobile phones which should have the internet connectivity. Then only people can either buy or sell either products or services. So e-commerce certainly requires the internet. Now let us understand what is the internet. The internet is nothing but a global network to which millions of networks are connected together. So internet is forming with an interconnection among millions of networks. So private, personal, public, academic networks, millions of such networks across the globe are connected together, forming what is known as a network of networks. So the internet is nothing but a network of networks which can be depicted like this. So here if we see there is a network and several clients are there connected to a server. This network connected to another one, which in turn is connected to another one. In this way, and millions of networks across the globe are connected, forming what is known as a wide area network across the globe, which can be referred to as the internet. So the internet is nothing but a network of networks, and at the same time global population has been increasing, because of which internet penetration is also increasing, with which e-commerce is flourishing. Because internet penetration is increasing, more and more people are getting internet connectivity, and naturally people like to buy the products or services over the internet, which is nothing but e-commerce. So e-commerce is flourishing because internet penetration is increasing. In this backdrop, we need to understand client-server network security. So what is a network? A network is nothing but an interconnection between two or more devices. Maybe desktops or laptops or mobiles, printers, scanners. In this way, different types of devices are interconnected, forming what is known as a network. Such a network generally consists of a server to which several computers known as workstations or clients are connected, forming what is known as a network. Every business organization consists of a corporate network, and generally it remains as a private network, and as long as it remains as a private network, it is very much secure. However, when it is connected to the internet, for example, there is a corporate network, and if it is connected to the internet, which consists of millions of users, because it gets exposed to entire population on the internet, then the problem of security comes into picture, because business organizations store customers data, payment details, order details. Because I'm talking about the e-commerce perspective, in e-commerce millions of customers will be there for each and every business organization. So customers data, order details, payment details, in this way different types of details will be there, and all such details will be there in the corporate network. When it is connected to the internet, then the problem of security comes into picture. So security has become the biggest problem. And if sufficient security measures are not taken, uh, the business organization could become victims to hackers. So certainly hackers will steal the precious and sensitive information like customer details, order details, payment details. Payment details consist of sensitive information like credit card numbers, debit card numbers, or online electronic payment system details. So such kind of sensitive data will be there with business organizations. And if we observe, every year business organizations are losing billions of dollars because of cyber attacks. That is the reason why every business organization tries to protect their network with necessary security. So e-commerce websites focus very much on security. Now let us understand how the problems will occur in client server networks. The problems will occur in three ways in client server networks. First one, it is physical security holes. So first scenario, first situation, how the problem will occur. Physical security holes. That is, the hacker may access the network physically and the hacker may intrude into the system. So they gain the access to the network physically, and sometimes the hackers may even guess the passwords of users, because nowadays people do not follow the rules for passwords. Generally the life partner's name or their pet's name or their children name or god's names or sometimes mobile numbers which are set as passwords. So guessing the password is becoming very easy for hackers. So hackers may gain the access, physical access to a computer network in this way. Second one is software security holes. Software security holes. Software is nothing but a program, and generally, if you look at any application like MS Office or even a browser like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or MS Office, all these applications consist of millions of lines of code. If we look at the Windows operating system, that also consists of millions of lines of code, and each and every line must be written very securely, having no security bugs. What will happen if a software consists of security bugs? The hackers may intrude into the network using such security bugs, and naturally the next scene is hacking stealing the data. So the softwares must be developed without any security bugs. And the last one is inconsistent usage holes. This happens when the system administrator tries to assemble different types of hardware or software. While assembling either hardware or software, the system administrator should take care of compatibility. So only compatible hardware components are to be assembled. Similarly, only the compatible software components are to be assembled, because of which there will be no security issues. If at all, incompatible hardware components or software components are assembled by the system administrator, then it becomes a hole through which the hackers may enter into the system. So there are the three types of problems. First one, it is the physical security holes in which hackers may gain the physical access into a network, and if required The hackers may even do the job of guessing a password. Similarly, software security holes. Because millions of code will be there in each and every software, and if at all there are any bugs, the hackers may gain the access into the network. And third one is inconsistent usage holes, in which if the system administrator assemble incompatible hardware or software, it may lead to the security issues. So these are the problems which may occur. Now let us understand the protection techniques that are available. The first and foremost protection technique is trust-based security. The name itself indicates trust-based. That is, all the sorry, all the users of the network are assumed trustworthy. This is a very important point. All the users of the network are assumed trustworthy. That is, they do not do anything harmful, because all the users are believed to be gentlemen. Naturally, the system administrator do not take any data protection measures, because all the users of the network are considered as trustworthy people. However, this model worked in the past, but it is no longer valid nowadays. So now let us move on to second model, security through obscurity. Security through obscurity. Obscurity means confusion. So the network is secured until nobody intrudes. See the point here. The network remains secured until nobody intrudes. And passwords. All the users' passwords are stored in files with a presumption that nobody will access them. So the network remains secured as long as nobody intrudes. And added to this one, the passwords are stored in files, assuming that nobody will access them. So a kind of confusion is there. So security through obscurity is a false sense of security, and many users nowadays have very good knowledge about all these technologies. That is the reason why this method is also useless. How the passwords are stored, where the passwords are stored, in which format the passwords are stored. Similarly, whether any security measures are taken or not. So people are having very good knowledge about all these things. That is the reason why this second model of protection is also not considered as worthy one. Third one, it is a password schemes. Very good one. So passwords provide strongest security solution. However, people should choose strong passwords. Otherwise, as we discussed already, life partner's name or mobile number or their pet name or their god's name, goddess name. So in this way, people choose very weak passwords. That should not be done. People have to choose very strong passwords with a minimum of 8 characters. Nowadays, every bank, every business organization insists to choose a password with a minimum 8 characters. That too with a combination of both uppercase and lowercase characters, and should contain at least one digit and a special character. So four things are mandatory. A minimum of 8 characters should be there, with a combination of both uppercase and lowercase characters, and one digit must be there and one special character must be there, because of which certainly guessing a password becomes a bit difficult. Even if somebody tries to crack the password also, it will not be so easy cracking the password, because a password is created with all these combinations. So to strengthen this system further, so passwords really provide very strong security. In added to this one, uh, further some more password schemes are introduced. One such additional password scheme is OTP, that is one time password. Whenever any transaction is performed, people receive a one time password. That one time password, a number or a word must be entered, then only the transaction is considered as a genuine one. Added to this, captcha. Captcha means a small image with a text or number, something like this. So there are two images we can see. One on left hand side consists of alphabets and digits. And please remember, these alphabets are case sensitive, uppercase, lowercase, a combination of these things will be there. Similarly, digits will be there. People need to enter this one very carefully. And if you look at the image on the right hand side, it consists of two words. Both the words are to be entered. So actually the alphabets are stored in the form of an image. So people need to think twice before entering those alphabets correctly, because it consists of both uppercase and lowercase characters. So captcha, this kind of things are to be entered. Similarly, another kind of thing is solving a puzzle. So one on left hand side is asking to select the images that have bus, okay, in that picture. So people need to select only those images which are having the buses. So similarly, another image on the right hand side which is asking to select all the images that have statues. So after selecting the images, people need to click on verify. So then only, if at all everything is corrected, then only we can proceed further. And the next password scheme is solving an expression. So here we can see there is an expression which is also appearing in the form of an image, and people need to enter the result of that mathematical equation. Generally very simple mathematical equations will be there, but people need to enter the result of that particular mathematical equation. So these are all the schemes which are strengthening the password scheme. So OTP, one time password, similarly captcha, that is text with the numbers and images. Similarly, question and answer schemes are there. Similarly, slide models are also there. Okay, one puzzle kind of thing is there, will be there, and people need to slide that small picture. They need to arrange that one properly in the required location. Similarly, solving the expressions. So these are all the examples of password schemes. Last protection technique is a biometric system. This one is considered as the most secure level of authorization. So there are different types of biometric systems. One is older one and another is a newer one. The older biometric systems were based on comparison of fingerprints. fingerprints, palm prints, retinal patterns, voice recognitions. In all these models, whether it is voice recognition or fingerprints, in all these models, they collect and store the data, that is fingerprints or voice recognitions. They will be collected and stored in the server, and they will be tested every time whenever people try to access the network. So fingerprints are read and are compared with the database that is already available. Similarly, voice recognitions. When a person speaks, this voice is compared with the existing voice that is there in database. So these are all the older models. Nowadays, facial recognitions, iris recognitions are also used. So these are latest one. But these are really expensive and they take more time also for recognition, that is verifying the scan. Of course, nowadays modern biometric systems are very having very quick response, but still they are bit time taking devices when compared to older biometric systems. So these are all the protection techniques that are available.